I'm Shirley Appleton. Welcome to this training insight. This is the case study, The Horse That Struggled to Canter. This is part 9. So a part 8 recap. With the failure of the second injection into MC's minor kissing spine region and speculation the issue might be deeper and never be able to be fixed, the decision was made to allow MC to join a herd on 500 acres. But unfortunately, she didn't cope. She got ulcers and she was brought home. So what was in store for MC? MC's owner was concerned bringing her home again as to how she'd fit back into domesticated life on 5 acres. Once MC got home, though, and her gastric ulcers treated, she thrived on routine and a lifestyle as mainly a paddock horse with the occasional bush ride or giving a child a safe pony ride. To this day, MC rarely canters or canters correctly, but she no longer requires constant ulcer treatment. Her owner's take on MC is that she was an extremely kind horse and she's never been lazy. That label was really wrong. She has a deep physical issue, and with everything she was put through, she never got nasty, but rather she shut down and dissociated from life. She hopes others can learn from her story. For those that see this story as failure or one that failed to solve this horse's problem, it's important you listen to these words. So in the words of MC's owner, when I asked her about whether she considered this a failure, I fully felt like I went from, I'm going to solve this riddle, to where do I sit with this morally and ethically, as I'm doing it for my benefit and having to lower my expectation and be grateful for her of a super cool horse that is truly like no other and let her be one of the biggest lesson teachers of my life. Through her, I had no choice but to learn to cope with defeat, and that's not normally in my nature. I'm an independent problem solver. I always have been, and I move heaven and earth to make shit happen. But it really made me reassess my perception of defeat and failure. I had a really hard time accepting that I couldn't fix MC. At the stage that it became evident that I couldn't solve it, I was very focused on that I'd failed. I bought MC as thinking she was going to be an amazing show horse, and together we could go out and fly the Waler flag and represent the breed, etc. As at that point in my life, I was keen to be competitive and was fairly consumed with the idea. So I was driven to solve her riddle for various reasons. As time went on, she really made me reevaluate what it was that I loved about horses, and there was some serious soul searching involved as I started to realize how far from enjoyment I drifted. I really had to unravel what it was I truly wanted to be myself. Did I want to be that person that kept pushing her when I knew she couldn't physically or mentally cope and kept ending up with gastric ulcers for my benefit? Or did I want to realign and reset my thinking and work with her and not against this beautiful creature? I wound myself in knots over not being able to work it out. I suppose if I had to summarize the most powerful lesson out of it, they aren't just here to be our toys for enjoyment. They're here to teach us, to make us grow as human beings, if we're open to it, and become better versions of ourselves. I decided through all the rehab process that I much prefer riding in the bush, like we used to do as kids, than the stress of repeat training, showing, etc. She reminded me of that. Showing, even at a low level, can be quite stressful when you're a perfectionist. And once she made me step away, I realized that I actually didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I did. Not saying I wouldn't show again, just that I didn't like who I was when I was so focused on being competitive. She taught me to realign my morals and come back to me always believing in putting the horse first. Now I do things different. I'm more relaxed as I'm staying within my moral compass. I feel I'm far more in tune with both my horses and recognize and see things now that before I ignored. So all that being said, did I fail? Not a chance in hell. I had to just change me for both of us. MC's not lazy. She's never been lazy. She's that horse I can ride in the arena and bridleless, just with a neck rope. I can put kids on her and she'll look after them. She's so in tune and she tries her absolute heart out. It just took her 9 years to teach me to appreciate that. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the story of MC. Big thank you to our owner for letting me share her story, and I hope you learn some lessons from MC. The fact that if a horse is struggling to perform, struggling to learn, it's a red flag that there's something wrong. And you have to go and investigate that. And a lot of the time horses get investigated and the problem gets found and it can be solved. But sometimes it doesn't. So I hope you've enjoyed this last installment. Thank you.